Chronic inflammation is the cause, progressor, and result of various kinds of arthritis. It either starts with acute inflammation after an injury, or it results from the body turning on itself when an autoimmune dysfunction arises. Either way, inflammation is painful. So why would you want to suffer from this life-sucking, pleasure-popping condition that makes you less active and discontent? Understanding the causes of chronic inflammation can help you live a freer life. Avoid the causes, and you'll command inflammatory responses. Once inflammation is under control, you can enjoy life as it was intended again and stop feeling benched. The pursuit of inflammatory culprits. Acute inflammation is a temporary state, whereas chronic inflammation is your immune system overworking to create an unhealthy and more permanent state. The acute response is essential for your body to maintain optimal health. The chronic state can lead to many problems other than arthritis. It's particularly dangerous for obese individuals because it attacks the fatty cells surrounding organs, eventually breaking through and damaging the healthy cells. But what factors can enhance your risk for chronic inflammation? Environmental or industrial chemicals. What a shocker! Chronic exposure to environmental toxins could make you ill, and it can induce chronic inflammation. Moreover, it often happens slowly, unbeknownst to the sufferer. The body accumulates a toxic inflammatory burden, and your body might even use the nutrients and minerals it has stored to decrease this burden before it switches on the immune system. Even worse, we now consume many of the toxins we should be avoiding with all the pesticides and herbicides sprayed on our harvested products. These chemicals damage the gut microbiome, leading to dire consequences. Heavy metals destroy your defenses further. You're exposed to nickel in stainless steel pans, various heavy metals in poor water and air regions, and unnatural agents in personal hygiene products. Cleaning products can also contain high amounts of toxins. You live in a world that's filled with chemicals that aren't good for your immune system. Even worse, you might work in a dangerous location, such as a rubber manufacturer. The only foods that you should eat are natural, whole, and chemical-free. They should list a single ingredient only. The products you use at home should also be natural. Diseases and infections. Infections can cause autoimmune or inflammatory responses, as the body is simply trying to repair the damage or protect you from illness. Your defenses will be ignited by injuries, viruses, bacteria, and germs. Anything that looks foreign will require an immune response, which can lead to chronic inflammation. Inflammation also causes pain, and it happens all over the body. The nature of inflammation is that it's activated by many diseases or infections, such as tonsillitis, an infection in the tonsils; bronchitis, an infection in the lungs; cystitis, an infected bladder; dermatitis, a skin infection; appendicitis, a serious condition that requires the removal of the appendix; colitis, an infection in the lining of the colon. Arthritis is a disease process that causes similar inflammatory responses. A disease process or an infection is a cue for the immune system to respond to a threat. White blood cells or leukocytes will zoom into the affected region to fight the pathogens within it. Cytokines will cause inflammation as part of the healing process, and plasma proteins accumulate fluid in the region. Small blood vessels will enlarge to accommodate the extra cells traveling through them. In most cases, you will have acute inflammation that will stop when the infection is destroyed. Sometimes, however, this immune response won't resolve. The National Institute of Health confirms that chronic inflammation can be triggered by repeated infections. Other considerations. Genetics can also lead to chronic inflammation, but other factors include stress, obesity, smoking, alcoholism, insomnia, age, hormonal imbalances, anything that has the mildest influence on the immune system. Your entire lifestyle impacts the inflammatory response in your body, from eating to sleeping. FAQs, the connection to lupus. Some people confuse lupus and arthritis, and they're not too far off. They're both autoimmune disorders and chronic inflammatory conditions. Are they the same? Not quite, but lupus is a chronic condition that leads to arthritis when it damages the joints. Arthritis is a complication of lupus, but you don't have to have both simultaneously. What is lupus then? Lupus is a chronic and long-term autoimmune disease that affects the bones, lungs, heart, skin, brain, kidneys, and blood vessels, among others. It causes widespread organ and cell tissue damage throughout the body. It's a destructive condition that's often inherited genetically. It can also be caused by environmental factors and poor nutrition, much like the autoimmune response of arthritis. In summary, lupus is widespread throughout the body, and it can cause arthritis developments in any joint. However, it can often be treated at least partially with simple natural additives. Final thoughts. Inflammation is the reaction your body has to the external environment, toxins, infections, and your lifestyle. Fortunately, being the master of your inflammation isn't a far-fetched dream.